Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I know that it literally just turned the new year and it's literally only, what's today's date? January 4th. But I'm gonna hit off the new year by doing a Valentine's Day look. I'm gonna do like a pink smoky eye and then cut the crease and put some gold down. I have a lot of ideas for like different pinky, red, purpley looks that I want to put out for you guys for Valentine's Day. So we wanted to hit the year running and just like go ahead and start with that. If you guys are new to my channel, that's amazing. I hope you like this video. If you guys have been subscribed to me and you're like, Beach, who the fuck are you? It's because I didn't post videos for 6 months. But I started an Instagram now. I'm being a lot more active on the Instagram. So if you guys want to keep up with the Instagram and it's like strictly a makeup Instagram, I'll put that Instagram handle down below and you should definitely go ahead and check that out and follow that. So yeah, let's get started. So I've been kind of doing a new technique lately that I found helps me a lot when I'm doing the cut creases. Basically, like before I started experimenting with this technique, every time I would see someone like YouTube, Instagram, real life, like literally anywhere doing their eyes before their foundation, I was like, you're crazy, because I was totally like, yes, do my base first, then I do my eyes. And I find that works a lot better with like any kind of eye look that you're doing with kind of like browns or more neutral tones, because it's really easy to just like wipe that product away. When I'm doing a really colorful eye look, that color like sticks underneath and like then you just kind of have to like go up and touch up underneath. So whenever I'm doing a colorful eye look, I first start with the eyes. I'm going to prime with my ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is in the shade Fair 08, and I like this concealer because, well, first of all, it's my lightest concealer, and if you're doing a colorful eye look, I really like to have like almost a white base because it really makes the colors pop, and I just really like this concealer for priming my eyelids. I usually like to carve out my eyebrows with the concealer, but not do my eyebrows first, and then do the shadows, crazy, whatever, and then do the eyebrows, and then the rest of the face. I usually like to start doing everything on my right eye. I'll probably like go ahead and do everything on my right eye and then do the left eye off the camera so you guys aren't like just sitting there watching me. I'm just gonna use this really flat guy, and I like to put the concealer everywhere, and then like I said, kind of like carve out this eyebrow shape. I'm just gonna put like another thin layer of concealer down. I like to just take a really fluffy brush and just kind of just go over it in case there's any like creases or areas I missed with the flat brush. Okay, so the two palettes I'm going to be using today is going to be the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette and then the ColourPop Element of Surprise palette. The reason I'm using these is because I want to do a pink eye look, and as you can tell, this palette has about 6, 7, 8 pinky colors that I can use. I really like the Element of Surprise palette because it kind of has like all the colors kind of have like a pinky purpley undertone to them, and I think I'm going to be wanting to use that for the gold on my eyelid today. This technique I actually learned how to do by watching a lot of people's tutorials when they were using the James Charles X Morphe palette, because it's a take on eyeshadow that I actually never really thought about doing. But basically you start with the darkest color in your crease and you like stamp it on, and then you kind of just like stamp on lighter colors and blend up. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. I'm going to start with like a pretty big-ish brush, I guess. I'm going to take this top pink shade right here. I'm just going to really saturate the top of my brush and tap off a little bit, go back in, tap off. And I'm going to start just right like below my crease and just start patting this on. Wow, this pink is really bright. So I'm kind of just like outlining the shape for this eye. I'm just going right above my crease here, and I'm just making this like as opaque as I want it to be, and just like packing on more and more product until I feel that I have the right opacity and shape. And this is one of those eye looks where it's gonna look a lot worse before it looks better. So then I'm gonna take a little bit of a smaller brush. I'm actually gonna go into this lightest pink shade here in the palette, and I'm just gonna tap. First, I'm gonna like gently tap right on the line of where that bright pink is, and then just like slowly blend up. And this is kind of like a process where I'm gonna be going back and forth between the two colors. So it's a good idea to use 2 different brushes for the 2 different colors. So once I have that light pink laid down pretty well, I'm going to take the brush that I used for the hot pink. I'm not going to add any more product, but I'm kind of just like going to stamp between the the barrier between the 2 colors. And this is just going to help further blend out that hot pink. And if you feel like that's not really doing anything, because like the stamping method is great, but it really does like take a lot of time to do, you can sweep kind of like in windshield wiper motions, but just do it with a very light hand. And then I'm just going to go back to the light pink, take a little bit more product product since this is like a lighter color. All right, now that I kind of like the blend of that, I'm actually gonna go into this bottom white shade here on the palette. Again, I'm gonna take that on a different brush, and I'm just gonna like sweep this right underneath the brow bone so that that light pink actually has something to blend into. And once again, like if you don't think the blending looks very good at this stage, like it's really probably not going to. Like the whole point or the whole thing with these style eye looks is like you're gonna be sitting here for a solid 10 minutes probably like blending, and that's okay. So at this point I feel like all the colors are kind of like locked down in place, so I'm just taking that pink shade and rather than stamping, I'm just kind of like small circular motions blending it up into that white, and then whenever I feel like I need to, I'm dipping back into more shadow. Once again, I just want to stress like it's really okay that this looks super messy and chaotic and kind of gross right now, because after all the colors are laid down, we're gonna go in with a wipe and clean that up. We're just going back and forth between all three colors and really diffusing them into each other. And if you guys are wondering why I'm looking down, my mirror is right here. As much as I would love to just sit here and stare into your soul, I really just can't do this without looking into a mirror. So, all right, since I'm not really getting the gradient that I'm really looking for, I'm gonna go into this other pink shade that's right below the lowest pink and just kind of place that in between the two. And for this, I'm gonna go in with a really small brush. Once again, you wanna use different brushes for different colors so that you can go back and forth for blending. I'm just gonna put that right above the hot pink. And then just kind of going back in with the hot pink and re-intensifying it. Switching to that medium pink. The brush isn't really working for me. I'm gonna go in with a Morphe M507 brush instead with that medium pink. Probably work better. Oh yeah, this is looking a lot better. All right, once I kind of have the blend where I like it, I think that looks pretty good. It's a nice gradient from the hot pink to the white. I am going to cut the crease. What I've been liking doing recently is I take the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water and I take a little Q-tip guy and I just kind of like, I don't even do this over the sink. I probably should be, but I just kind of like, oh gosh, squeeze a bunch on there. And oh wait, no, I'm not gonna do this yet. First, I'm gonna take a little bit of that ColourPop No Filter Concealer, put it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take this little angled flat brush and really saturate the tip of that brush. And I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna kind of place where I want the cut crease to start. I kind of like to look down for this because I don't want to place the cut crease too low, because that way, if it's too low and I'm looking straight down, you're not gonna see like the cut crease. So I kind of want to place it a little bit higher than my actual crease, probably like right there. Really roughly map out how I want the cut crease to look, and it's okay that this looks really gross and bad. Okay, so when you kind of feel like you have a pretty good shape of, or an idea of what the shape you want it to be, then we're gonna go back to that Q-tip that we saturated in that micellar cleansing water, and I'm literally just gonna take off all of this product because we wanna make sure that we have a nice clean base for the colors that go underneath. So that's why we wanted to put down the concealer to carve out the crease, just like very roughly, because then you have a really good idea of like where to stop taking stuff off, if you know what I mean. And I know this may seem excessive. I like to cut my crease very excessively, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because I just like it better when it's a little bit above the crease, because then it's like very obvious that you are trying to do a cut crease, at least on my eye shape. This is different for everyone's eye shape. Okay, so as you can tell, that lid space is nice and clean now, and I'm just gonna let it dry because for obvious reasons, I'm just gonna let it dry. All right, so now my lid is feeling pretty sticky. That literally took like 5 minutes to dry, but I mean, it's not like completely dry yet, but it's dry enough. So we're just gonna move on. So this next step, like really will take your cut crease game to the next level. Because as you can tell, like when we took away shadow for the cut crease, like we lost a lot of that blend, and that's okay. So basically what we're gonna do to bring it back is kind of like redo all those first steps, but kind of like in a mini version. So I'm gonna take this Morphe M160-1/16 brush. It's this really tiny angled brush, and it's perfect for just like stamping product right on there that's right by the crease. And we want to do this before we put down the concealer so that if there is any like messiness underneath that line, we can clean it up with the concealer. So I'm gonna go back in with that dark pink shade that we first started with, the darkest pink in this look, and I'm literally just going to stamp this right along that edge. Okay, so even just with that, you guys can already tell it brought a lot more life back into that gradient. So now I'm gonna go in with the middle pink shade, and I'm just gonna go right above it. And I'm using the same I'm using the same brush just because I want these to be really blended, so it's okay if they blend on the brush. Does that make sense? Next, I'm just going to tap off all that excess powder, and I'm going to go into the lightest pink shade of this look. Really just pack it on my brush and then stamp that on as well. Okay, so once you kind of have all of the colors stamped on, what I like to do, just because I feel like I can never leave it alone, is I'm gonna go in again with my Morphe M507 brush. Just gonna kind of like blend that out, and like anywhere I feel I want to put more colors on, I'm just gonna use this bigger, fluffier brush to blend it all out. Alright, once I'm pretty satisfied with that blend, I'm going to put the palette down. I'm going to go back with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. Again, put it on the back of my hand. And in the same manner as before, I'm just going to take the flat little angled brush that I used, and I'm really going to saturate the end of the brush, and I'm going to cut the crease. And this is like a really awesome technique because since we pretty much already have the crease down, like cutting the crease is like a breeze now because you really just have to follow what we already did. Alright, once I'm pretty happy with that, if there are any areas that you think you like went a little bit outside the lines, like right here, I feel like I went a little bit above. I'm going to go back in with that really tiny angled brush and the darkest pink again. I told you guys, this is a process, like this takes such a long time to do. And just stamp it right over. Alright, and there we have part 1 of the eye look. I know, this is so long. So now I'm going to go back in again with my handy dandy Garnier. Oh gosh, it got everywhere. I'm going to go back in with the Micellar cleansing water. Get it a little this is not a tooth. Get a little Q-tip nice and saturated. And I'm going to start right at the lash line and go up towards the eyebrow. Oh, got my eye. Take away all of that so we have a nice clean line up to the eyebrow. And then just to clean it up further, I'm going to go in with a little makeup wipe and I'm going to use the edge. This probably would have just been easier in the first place to do. Oh yeah, that's a lot easier. Just kidding. Don't use the Q-tip. Use this. It's easier. So then after you've cleaned up that edge, you just take your wipe and you kind of like wipe everything else away. And this is what I'm talking about where like it's a lot easier to do colorful makeup looks without foundation on because then you can be as messy as you want and then just take the wipe and like any fallout you have or like anywhere you accidentally got a little bit messy, you can just wipe it away and it's no big deal. Alright, so the last part of this Valentine's Day eyeshadow look is the gold on the cut crease. And for this part, I'm going to go into the Element of Surprise palette by ColourPop. Before I go in with the gold, I'm just going to quickly tap out any creases I have on this concealer. I find that these shadows in this palette work really best with your finger. So I'm just going to be using this gold shade in the palette here. And I'm really just going to swirl my finger around in it a lot and really like press it into my lid. Now with your finger, it's really hard to be precise on those clean lines we just made. So go up as far as you can with your finger. And then once you feel like you really can't be precise anymore with your finger, just take a brush that's like really flat and has a really nice clean edge and really douse the tip of the brush with that shimmer shadow and fill in the rest of the cut crease. Alright, and there's the gold. Once again, you want to just take your little wipe and clean up the edge. Since this tutorial is all about the eyes today, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side off camera, put my face on, put my brows on. I'll be right back to do blush, highlight, and lips. Alright, so now that the face is done, I'm going to start with highlight. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter, and this is in the shade Molten Gold. Remember earlier in the video when I told you that Element of Surprise ColourPop palette, kind of like all the shades, even if in the pan they look like a certain color, they all kind of have like a pinky purpley tone. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if you're like getting the same vibe I am, but it seems like the gold that I put down on my eyes kind of almost looks pink now, and that's okay, but I think I'm gonna put some of that highlight also on my lids to kind of bring back the gold. So I'm just gonna take this highlighter first all over my face. Alright, now that I kind of have that highlighter everywhere, I'm gonna take my finger and just kind of tap over this on my eye. All right, yeah, I definitely think this is bringing back some of the gold in that shadow. All right, so now for blush, I'm going to actually take the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, and I'm going to take my brush and literally just like dab into all these pinks. This might be a terrible idea, but we're gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna really lightly do this because I really don't know what's gonna happen. I always put a little bit of blush on my nose. I always put some up here. All right, now that I have like less on my brush, I'm gonna really go ham and blend it out. The spot right here seems like really pigmented. All right, now for the lower lash line. I think I'm just gonna go in with that darkest pink shade and just kind of like tap it on my lower lash line about to here. So what is that, like 2/3 the way in? I'm gonna tap that pink shadow on. Keeping it pretty close to the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to use that lighter pink and blend it down. I kind of want to connect these, so I'm going to go back in with the darker pink and connect it like up here. I think that could look really cool. And then go in with the lighter pink, blend it out. All right, and then I'm just gonna actually go in with that highlighter. I'm gonna take it on a little brush and finish off that lower lash line. All right, let me go pop on some lashes. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I've got my lashes on by the hair of their chinny chin chins. They're barely on, but it's okay. For my lips, got some nice foundation lips right now, but I think I want to do a glossy lip. So I'm going to take this lipstick. This lipstick is by Maybelline. It is in the shade Twinkle 705. It's just a shimmery pink. And then I'm just going to go in with this lip gloss. This is the Too Faced Juicy Color Lumping Lip Gloss, and this is in the shade Milkshake. Alright, I'm taking that off. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. I think I'm just gonna like, if I'm gonna commit to the pink, I'm just gonna commit to the pink and wear a bright pink lipstick. I think that'll look best. Alrighty, so we have got the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Matte Lip Gloss, and this is bright pink. This is gonna be so obnoxious, but I think it'll go with the look. And this, you guys, is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed watching my first Valentine's Day eye look tutorial of 2019. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram to keep up with my looks, I will leave my handle right here on the screen. I will be posting consistently every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Central Time, so make sure you check out these other videos. But in the meantime, stay tuned for next week's video. Bye!